you still live, you still go on, but you have to live differently. You have to do things differently. I am the daughter of Richard Huntress, or Rick Huntress, or Ricky Huntress, depending on who you are. Anyway, he right now is writing a book, his first book, called Broken. And I'm really excited about this book. It's his personal story of how he was paralyzed and what it means to be handicapped, and in the struggles that it takes, the humor that it takes. It's a very strong book in the fact where it's a personal story. And it's all from the perspective of him. To get another perspective, you have to talk to his family. Through our lives, we tell a story. And through the things that happen to us, we tell stories, and we live a story. And I guess being the child of my dad, our stories was different right from the get-go. We weren't just not everything was normal. And that was actually really good for us, where our stories made us realize that we had something important to live, and we had something to overcome, and we had something that we had to figure out and deal with, and I think it made us stronger.
One time, about 2 years ago, it was a Sunday, and Kara, Errol, and I went to Sunday school, and Rick said he'd join us for church. Well, he skipped out a time or two, not all the time, but I was sitting in church, and it was getting later and later, and he didn't show up. And I was getting madder, and I was thinking, where is he?
The wheelchair is beside the bed, and his voice is coming from the bathroom. And I go, am I allowed in there? And he goes, yes, come in! And I come in, there he is, dangling from the sink counter.
And we had plans after church, go to lunch and all, and so I waited and waited, and during the church service I was looking at my phone and I had no messages. And so then right after church was over, I got a call to my phone, and then I checked and had a message, but just saying, come home.
The wheelchair had popped out from underneath him and rolled backwards while he was leaning over to brush his teeth. Well, he had fallen to the floor and was still kind of dangling, so I quickly grabbed his wheelchair, put it next to him, put the brakes on.
So we went home, and right before Rick had left the house, he looked around and saw that there was a candle on in Kara's and Errol's bathroom. So he went in, and when he tried to pull out he went over backwards, getting over the lip. He can only back out of their bathroom. So he was on the floor throughout the church service.
And I like to brag that I lifted, you know, let's say 160 pounds by myself. Woo. My father helped me with his big arms.
He did not manage to get up, but he did get a pillow down from the bed, and Pippin, the dog, little Chihuahua, sat and supported Daddy until we got home, and then we got him back to bed and skipped going out to lunch.
And between the two of us, we got Dad finally back in the wheelchair, and I was giggling to myself because I found Dad on the floor, all for trying to spit in the sink.
Well, years ago, he was much more romantic. But anyway, he used to always hold my hand. That was a big change. Now his hand is on the wheel at all times.
One thing that we started after Dad was paralyzed was we started going on daddy-daughter dates.
So Dad and I were walking through the mall. We walked by Ann Taylor's, and Dad goes, ooh, I like that dress. And I went, oh yeah, I really like it. It's a nice dress. It's very classy. And Dad goes, let's go try it on.
The best part was when he took us shopping, because he tends to buy really nice, expensive things to make us look nice.
Dad's like, oh my goodness, you look like a beautiful young woman. Lady. He says lady. Always says lady. And we end up buying this really, really expensive dress.
So, moral of the story is, listen to Dad on his shopping advice.
As far as change going, it didn't have to be better. I think in our case, it did become better, make us closer.
It's just a great time and a great experience, and it doesn't matter that your dad's in a wheelchair because he treated us like little princesses the whole time.
I'm not a public speaker. I like background, and I don't even always like Rick speaking because I feel nervous in the background. But I am thankful if he gets an opportunity.
I think living this type of life has actually helped us as a family, only because it's given us a storyline that we had to overcome and that we could be proud of.
Rick's main focus definitely is for people that have gone through injuries or sudden illnesses that really need the help, and to realize that life is not over. After his injury, I loved him before, I love him after. He's just lovable.